Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, in today's world, most people think the biggest battles are fought in the streets or in politics or on TV, but really, one of the biggest battlefields is right in front of us online. Every time we open YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or any social platform, there's a war going on. Not a war with guns or tanks, but with information. There are groups out there using technology to shape the way people think, feel, and react. They don't need to use physical force. They use comments, likes, and posts. And one of the main tools they use to do that is something called a bot farm. Now, if you've never heard of a bot farm before, it's a term used to describe a group of computers or fake online accounts that are controlled by a small number of people, sometimes even by one person. These bots are programmed to act like real humans online. They post comments, share videos, reply to messages, and even argue with real users. The goal is to control conversations and push certain messages out into the world. Now, you might be thinking, why would someone go through all that trouble? The reason is simple, because online attention is power. If you can control what people see and believe online, you can shape public opinion, distract people from the truth, or make real stories look fake. And that's exactly what happens to a lot of people who talk about organized harassment. When victims of this kind of abuse try to share their experience online, it doesn't take long before the comment section starts filling up with strange replies. People calling them crazy, delusional, or schizophrenic. And most of the time, those comments aren't even from real people. They're from bots, fake accounts set up to shut down the conversation before it even starts. Now, for some people like myself, they're easy to identify. Maybe it has no profile picture, no videos, or barely any subscribers. Sometimes you'll reply to them and you'll never get a response back. That's because there's nobody on the other side. It's just a program. And this is why understanding bot farms is so important, because once you see what they're doing, you realize how powerful they are and how they're used to manipulate reality. These systems aren't just random, they're part of a bigger plan to control public opinion. They decide what ideas spread and what ideas get buried. A bot farm is basically a collection of fake online identities. These aren't real people with real thoughts or emotions. They're computer-controlled accounts that can copy the way humans talk, comment, and react online. Each of these programmed bots are given a fake name, sometimes a random photo, and a made-up story so that it looks real at first glance. Then hundreds or even thousands of these fake accounts are used together to create the illusion that a certain idea is popular or widely accepted. For example, let's say someone posts a video talking about government corruption, organized harassment, or gangstalking. That video might start getting attention. People start watching, commenting, and thinking for themselves, but then suddenly a wave of negative comments shows up. They all say the same thing. You're crazy, seek help, this is just paranoia, take your meds. Now, if you didn't know what a bot farm was, you'd probably think, wow, everyone must think this topic is crazy. But the truth is, most of those comments didn't come from real people. They came from a bot farm, a system that floods the internet with fake voices to make it look like a certain opinion is more common than it really is. These farms can be massive. Sometimes they're run by private companies, sometimes by government agencies, and sometimes by groups with political or financial interests. They're not limited to one country or one type of topic. They've been used for everything from influencing elections to promoting products and to silencing whistleblowers. And because so many people get their information online, these bot farms can change how the public sees reality. They can make a lie look like the truth or make the truth look like a lie. So when we talk about bot farms, we're not just talking about fake comments. We're talking about an entire system that can shape public opinion on a global scale. A system built to distract, divide, and manipulate. And the scary part, most people don't even realize it's happening. The goal of all this is to influence. If enough fake accounts repeat the same message, people start believing it must be true. That's how the internet works. When we see the same comment or opinion repeated over and over, our brains start to accept it as normal. It's called social proof. So when bot farms flood the comments under a video about gangstalking or organized harassment, they're not just trying to insult the person posting, they're trying to shape how everyone else sees it. They want viewers to scroll down, see all the negative comments, and think, oh, I guess this topic isn't real after all. In the early days of the internet, people could tell when something was fake because the comments looked robotic or weird. But now, with artificial intelligence and smarter software, these bots can write like humans. They can argue back, post emojis, and reply with short sentences that seem natural. By the early 2010s, bot farms had already become tools for shaping public opinion. During elections, major events, and protests, fake accounts would flood social media to push specific stories and distract from others. The people running these bots learned something important, that the more chaos and confusion they created, the easier it was to control the narrative. Over time, the technology evolved. Instead of one person controlling 10 fake accounts, they could now control thousands. And with artificial intelligence improving every year, the bots became smarter, more human like, and harder to detect. Today, bot farms aren't just used by one type of group. They're used by corporations, political campaigns, intelligence agencies, and even private contractors. Some are small operations working out of their basements, while others are large-scale setups in other countries, filled with computers running 24/7. No matter who's behind them, the goal stays the same: to steer public opinion, whether it's about politics, social issues, or even subjects like organized harassment and gang stalking. These systems are built to shape how people think and what they believe is real. You might think this kind of manipulation only happens on a big scale with elections or news stories, but it's actually happening everywhere, even in the comment sections of YouTube videos and social media posts. That's the power of repetition. If enough fake accounts repeat the same insult or the same phrase, the average person scrolling through the comments won't think twice. They'll assume everyone agrees, and that's how the truth gets buried under layers of noise. So when people talk about bot farms, they're not talking about some new invention. This has been building for decades. It started small, but over time it's turned into a global weapon used to manipulate emotions, hide the truth, and drown out real voices. And that's why it's so important for people, especially those who are being targeted or harassed, to understand that what they're seeing online isn't always real. Many of those comments aren't from genuine people at all. They're from systems that were designed to make you doubt your reality and silence your story before it spreads. Alright, now that you understand what bot farms are, how they operate, and how they twist the truth, the next step is about what we can do to make a difference, because awareness without action doesn't change anything. But small, consistent actions, especially when done by thousands of us targets, we can reshape the entire narrative. Let's start with something simple but powerful: commenting. When you see a post, a video, or even a short clip that seems like it could be covert harassment or gang stalking, make a comment about it. You don't need to argue or debate with anyone. Just write something clear like gang stalking is real, or this happens to people around the world. These little comments plant seeds in the minds of people. Don't think it's insignificant. Think about it. When thousands of people start commenting about the same issue, it catches attention. People who have never heard of gang stalking will start to wonder, what is that? They'll type it into the search bar, and that's when they'll discover the truth for themselves. This is how we as targets and truth seekers can shift the power dynamic online. The bot farms rely on silence and confusion. Their goal is to make people afraid to talk or to make the conversation look crazy. But if enough of us speak up calmly, consistently, and truthfully, their tactics lose strength. Another thing to remember is don't try and argue with the bots. When you leave a truthful comment and someone instantly replies calling you crazy, delusional, or something similar, just know it's probably not even a real person. In a world where everything is digital, whoever controls information controls people's perception of reality. They don't have to physically silence everyone. They just need to shape what the majority believes. They use algorithms to boost certain voices and bury others, and they use bots to fill the gaps and make their narrative look like the majority opinion. This doesn't just apply to gang stalking, it happens across every major issue in society. Whether it's politics, health, or social movements, there's a coordinated effort to control what people think, and this control is done quietly through screens, comments, and trends. It's psychological warfare disguised as everyday scrolling. Alrighty guys, I hope this video helped give you understanding of how bot farms are used to shift the narrative on public opinion. Remember to always protect your peace, stay vigilant, stay blessed out there.